Hello, everyone. My name is Ginger, and I'm a member of the Mage System. Just to introduce myself, if anyone has never met me before, I am shy as fuck right now. Oh my gosh. I am 24 years old, or at least I identify that way. I am sort of a protective alter, but I would say more of a caretaking alter. And my pronouns are she, her. And I'll just throw up a picture of what I look like. I'm very into fashion, so I enjoy trying to make myself look like how I perceive myself looking like in my head in the videos. So Elle asked on the community tab if anyone had any questions for anyone in the system. And instead of making a big Q&A video where we compile all of the parts in one video who want to answer the questions, we're going to make individual videos for Elle, me, Alena, and Brigitte. So this is mine. Hi. Okay, so we're just going to get started with the first question from Arya the Royal. In general, whoever wants to answer, how weird do you think you are on a scale of 1 to 7 compared to the rest of your system and the general public? Well, compared to the rest of the system, I think I might be like the most normal one. And compared to the rest of society, I'm also pretty normal. So, I mean, I'm not normal in the sense that I am an alter in a DID system. So, like, I haven't gotten the opportunity to have as many life experiences as Ginger as most people have as themselves. So, because most people are singlets and spend an entire lifetime in their body, whereas I only spend a fraction of a lifetime exploring what I like. So I guess I don't want to say that I'm like less of a fully fleshed out human being, but I guess that is the only like difference between me and like normal people. I mean, I have like anxiety and stuff like that sometimes, but that's about it. And what kind of makeup do I have and what do I use the most? Sorry if it's a weird question. That's definitely not a weird question at all. That's a very normal question. I will just give you the rundown of what I usually use. All right, firstly, I use this concealer. It is the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer Matte Finish in, I think, the lightest shade possible, Fair Warm, because I'm really pale. I usually use this Maybelline Super Stay Foundation, but I think I just haven't used it in so long that it is expired and very clumpy, so I only used concealer today. Elle usually thickens his brows using this Revlon pencil and soft brown, but this one usually clashes with my wig. So I use this Essence eyeliner pencil in the color brown. Um, so yeah. And then for mascara, let me just go on a rant here. The Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced, the more higher end mascara everyone raves about. It's not the formula that's good, it is the brush. So go out and get yourself a Better Than Sex mascara. Use the mascara and then just go to the drugstore and get L'Oreal Lash Paradise and put the brush in it, and you're good. That's what I've been doing, and it works the same. This is my Jeffree Star Thirsty eyeshadow palette. This thing is ancient. It is so old. And the mirror is broken because I step on all of my mirrors. Thankfully, it doesn't, it's not really very expired, so still works good for me. Has all the shades I really use. So that's good. And then these two brushes, I use Wet n Wild brushes. You can get them at the dollar store. This is my eyeliner, my liquid liner that I use for my wings. It is CoverGirl. And then I use another color CoverGirl like eye pencil, and that's what I used for my under eyes today. This is what I use for contour. It's the Wet n Wild bronzer in shade Sunset Striptease. Every single time I buy it, it ends up crumbled like this. At this point, I should probably just start using a different thing, but I don't want to bother trying to find a shade of a different contour that works for me. So I've just been like opening it and hoping it doesn't just like fall all over my carpet. This is my lipstick can. These are my 2 Jeffree Star liquid lips. These are over 5 years old. They're extremely ancient. I use shade Celebrity Skin and Rose Madder. Celebrity Skin is my favorite, but they are almost completely dry now. These are my 2 MAC lipsticks. These have a really great formula. This is the shade Mare. It's what I'm using today, though I did kind of mix it with other lipsticks today, but it mostly just ended up resembling this shade. So, and then the other MAC lipstick I have is the shade Honey Love, which doesn't really look good on me. And then this is the Becca red lipstick. However, I don't wear it often because I don't really look good in red lipstick. So that is all that I have. So thank you for watching my thing. From XXSOFXX. Sorry that I spelled it out instead of said it. I'd love to hear if any one of you have some favorite memes or funnies that you enjoy, or maybe rant about current hyperfixations if you got any. So I can't think of any memes that I like off the top of my head because I usually don't look at that kind of stuff, but maybe I can find something. And if I do, I'll put it in the editing. I have scoured the meme folders. This is the only thing I could think of. I don't know why I like it. As far as hyperfixations, again, currently, I'm just not out enough to form certain hyperfixations, but I can just tell you hyperfixations I've had throughout my lifetime. I obviously really enjoy makeup. That was one of my hyperfixations when we were in like middle school, is I would constantly be buying makeup and watching beauty gurus on YouTube. I also, in high school, became really interested in witchcraft. I've only ever mentioned this in one video, and that is my terrible Meet the Altars video that I would refilm, but I think it would be like my 4th time refilming it or something. But I think, at least from what I know, as a child, when I formed, I started out like sort of a princess type of person. And then in like middle school or high school, around there, I became more of like a witch. So I got really interested in witchcraft when we were in high school, and I have like several little grimoires that I made down there. This is one of them. Here's a bunch of like symbols that I wrote down for different things. I don't want to show you too many of the pages because I do not know what I've written on these. So I have a lot of like witchcraft stuff that we still have. And I really enjoy that stuff. I also really love home decor. I just really do. I love looking at it and I love planning it. And a lot of the things that we have in our room were my idea. I also really enjoy like learning about social politics, like trans people and like critical race theory and stuff like that. I don't know. I really like the vibes of people who make content about it, and I ended up just getting really interested in it. Carrie 5022 asks, or rather states, I always enjoy hearing how different alters see each other versus how they view themselves. So I guess I'll just tell you how I view myself and how I view Elle and Alena and Brigitte, because they'll make their own videos and say what they see in each other too. How I see myself is, I don't know, I guess just like a normal 24-year-old lady. I'm a bit of a homebody. I'm pretty shy. I just really enjoy staying home a lot, and I like nature, and I don't know, that I'm just a normal girl, I guess. How do I view Elle? L is trying his best. He's trying his best. No, but I do think that L has a very hard job. So anything that L has done that was not the best for the system or anything like that, as a host who has host syndrome, which includes denial that you have DID, thinking that everything's fine, all that stuff, it's all forgiven because L is trying his best and actually doing a pretty exceptional job compared to what he could be doing. Alena, I really admire Alena's role and what she has done and contained for the system, and Alena's amount of tolerance for things that are painful and their ability to just take one for the team. I do think that they have engaged in, a lot of behavior that has scared or harmed the system, not as much now as they used to. But it's also a similar situation where I can't completely blame them, they're just a product of what happened. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of everything that came before you. I am so sorry. I just remembered that I did not include Brigitte. I completely forgot. So I just wanted to say that Brigitte is a very, very considerate girl who has done so much, like a world of help for the system in helping us stay safe. And I have a lot of love for her, and I know the things that she's been through. I know she's a little lost sometimes and doesn't exactly know why she's here, as I understand is a struggle for fictive sometimes, but that's okay. That's okay. We're all lost in our own way. So, yeah, I love Brigitte. Thank you for everything that you do. Carrie also says, I also love vlogs where different members help with different parts of the day, but I'd imagine that would be a different type of video than a Q&A. That is an amazing idea, and I would love to film a video like that with everybody, so thank you for the suggestion. Okay, fuck. I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm just gonna spell it. Duipraye asks, how do all your alters cope/manage your comorbidities? How does one affect each alter, or does it not bother them? For example, how does your anorexia affect everyone, or does it not affect some? Well, there is a lot of comorbidities, so it does affect everyone differently. I think that almost all of us have some form of anxiety, and it has led us to just not really be open except for online, but just in our regular life about who we are as a system, which has led us in our system to just have a very isolated view of itself and not have any friends. I don't really have any friends except for Nicole, Elle's friend. And I barely come out and talk because I just don't have the opportunity a lot because there just isn't a lot of time. That sucks. What else? What other disorders do we have? I would say depression is a pretty interesting one. I think you're probably pretty familiar if you've watched this channel enough about how depression affects Elle. How it affects me, because I have struggled with depression, is just that I don't know, just picture me longingly staring out the window, looking into the stars, listening to Lana Del Rey. I just feel like I don't have a purpose. That's how I feel when I'm depressed. So for PTSD, I'm trying to like count on my fingers the mental disorders that we have. For PTSD, some alters just flat out don't have PTSD, and I'm one of them. I don't get flashbacks. I don't have any trouble with trauma except whenever other people do, and I just feel sad for them. So for anorexia, that has upset me in the past that, some alters were doing that because obviously it's multiple people living in one body. So if you're making a decision as major as starving yourself, that is obviously not very nice to the other people that live in your brain, because if you're starving someone else, that's like literally torture. Not to make anyone like any like anorexic systems out there feel bad. And like that sounds so cold, but like it's true. So I was like mad about that for a while. But again, like I understand that it's a product of everything that has happened to us. So I'm not like pressed about it now. Not everyone in the system has anorexia. Like I don't, the kids don't, Brigitte doesn't. I think the only people that like have some sort of eating disorder are Alena and Elle, or had in the past. Elle is not currently eating disordered, which is just great. Here's the Autism and ADHD question by Lilith Lynn. How does your autism and ADHD affect you differently? So that's the first question they asked. Well, I used to debate with myself whether I actually identified myself as having autism, even though we were diagnosed with autism, because I think the general understanding in DID, even though alters can have different eyesight, different skin reactions, like some pretty major like genetic changing stuff whenever they switch in, the consensus in the community seems to be that if one alter has autism, the brain has autism. Maybe that's not true, and that will be proven wrong later. But I remember debating with myself for a while if I identified with having autism or not. And the truth is, I just don't know. I just, I generally don't think so. I will say I'm very shy. I definitely am able to get along with peers and get along with people and relate to people more than Elle does, because I think one of the ways that Elle's autism has manifested throughout their life is that they have struggled to get along with peers and other people, and have only met like a handful of people in their lifetime that they ever felt completely comfortable around. And I'm just not really like that. Like I can definitely relate to like neurotypical people more, but I am very shy. So I feel like that's the only symptom I have of that. As far as ADHD, I definitely do identify as having ADHD. Definitely. I think the only difference between mine and Elle's ADHD is that I keep things pretty tidy. I mean, it's part of like my job is just being hygienic and keeping things clean, the body and the space we live in. So that's probably the only exception. I do think that there is different levels of severity with different alters, but I can only really speak for myself. Do you have different or the same stems? So I was thinking about this, and I mean, everyone's stems, but so for Elle, they are constantly stemming, they are constantly doing something, whether it is just playing with something with their fingers or rocking back and forth or something like that. They almost always are. And I probably stem more than the average person, but I just don't feel the need to move around constantly. Does everyone have the same symptoms? No, we all present differently for the most part. And is your ADHD the same type or not? I guess in terms of whether you mean like in the DSM, it has like purely inattentive subtype ADHD, what used to be ADD, purely hyperactive type ADHD, and combination ADHD. I guess probably different types, because I think I'm probably more inattentive than hyperactive. And I think L, if I had to guess, would be both. Anyways, we hope everyone is well and that whatever you're going through right now, it will be fine in the end. Thank you for making the videos. It really helps our system. Thank you so much. These comments that you guys leave sometimes, they are really helpful for us and we really appreciate them. All right, Izzy6455 asks, how much does one or all of you know about the world in general and things that go on in the real world? For example, politics or family members. Many of ours are as intelligent and sparky as anyone, but they are in a bubble from knowing about the world. So for me, in terms of like politics and stuff, I basically believe I am aware of what I want to be aware of. I'm not trying to worry about that shit. Again, I'm really into social politics, but that's different than that's not all of the politics. I know L is very much like the government is corrupt, like every president is shit. And I'm just like, Kamala is brat. Basically, just let me believe that Kamala is brat, or Kamala. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. As far as family members, I definitely don't view L's family members as my family members, and I am definitely aware of them. Again, our system doesn't really experience a lot of amnesia, so we are generally aware, and even if we aren't, we can just sort of check back and the memories are just automatically shared with us. So even if we weren't aware of them previously, we can be anytime we want to. For most things, I think there are some things that doesn't apply to, but we don't experience amnesia very often, basically. Okay, and last question for me from Lexi is gay. Do different alters have differing food preferences? Yes, we do, and I think that Alena will have the most interesting answer to this question because I think she has the most unique food preferences. But yes, we do have differing food preferences. I haven't explored mine as much, oddly enough, but I really love citrus and I love sweets and I love starchy things. Yeah, I'll just let the other parts tell you what they like. But yeah, there's my Q&A. Thank you to everyone who submitted a question. We really, really appreciate it, and we appreciate everyone's support. We are almost to 2,000 subscribers, which is crazy, and we're actually getting our first paycheck from YouTube at the end of this month. So that's so cool and so crazy to see that we're actually making money off of this. Not very much, but we're making money. So I don't care if it's 4 cents or what, it feels really nice. So I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Breadcrumbs just knocked down the camera.